Street performance. Sell tickets. Yep. Yep. Ah, I'm dead. But I'm pretty sure the mysterious girl is saying that don't get twisted. Your enemies are not the audience in front of you. Your enemies and our biggest enemies are ourselves. Are we proud of who we are becoming? What about our inner judgments, inner criticism, and so on? Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated psychotherapist and a master of over-analysis. Welcome to my detailed analysis of Bocchi the Rock episode 6. Assassination Zero, Vinny, Greg Boak, Foxlokes Gaming, Chris Kill94, Jen Negre, and Wu Xiyang are the sponsored tier highlights of today's videos. Shout out to the growing patron family and YouTube memberships. Sit back and I hope you enjoy. Oh, alright, starting with some recap and some massive disco ball. I love Hitori's imaginary friends, this guitar potato looking thing. Literally colorful characters, personality-wise, and their colors. And just there alone, we see how far Hitori has come. She went from aspiring, wishing upon, praying that maybe one day, not even definitely, maybe, possibly one day, I can join a band or start a new one. And bam, within 5 episodes and the beginning of episode 6 today, we see her blossoming nature as a band member, as a person, as a friend. She has so many lines of communication outside of just the commercials and ads and from her parents that she talked about in episode 1. Menacing. Pass! Working at the beach house. Part-time job. And this brings back to the present tense where she counted even Shiba, her dog, as part of the 4 tickets quota, but she needs a 5th one. And remember, she was literally saying that she'd rather donate her organ, donate her liver. She's willing to go through all that struggle and challenges and potentially losing her life and risking her life rather than working at a beach house or amusement park, right? For the extra income. But going back to here, where is she going to get that 5th ticket quota to meet the demands of the club and to perform even after passing the audition? 10 days? 5. 5. Jim Hebe, is that the name of Shiba since Shiba barked? And the mom and the sister and Shiba are all listening to Hitori's struggle and monologue. You know that your dog Shiba can't make it, right? She's like, I had a feeling, but I wasn't sure I would. The sister. She's only 5. I am dead. Hitori is disconnected once again from reality. She's having yet again another reality breaking moment. Definition right here. And again, this is a very comical portrayal of a trauma response. Many people with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, they go through dissociative states. Dissociation, definition right here. I've outlined that and talked about that numerously throughout the season. Now she's drowning. She's coming back.
誰もお友達いないのね。お姉ちゃん、話さないだけで学校にたくさんいるんだよ。
Denial.
冗談でもそんなこと言っちゃダメだよ。人のお母さん、友達に声かけるね。ただ、草友達いるんだからね。
While she's talking to a houseplant in the corner, she can't even face them while she's having this lie, obviously, right? And that's yet another defensive mechanism called denial. Definition right here. Denial is when individuals obviously are denying their situations and circumstances because of the distraught and acute stresses that's associated with these situations. She was able to share that denial to her little sister because it's her little sister. There's obviously some power dynamic differences like hierarchy, family structure, and so on. Not in a malicious way, very benign, but still. But in front of her parents, her mom and her dad, who is higher in the family hierarchy, she couldn't face them literally and share this lie of her denial that I have lots of friends and in high school. No, you don't need to invite your friends, mom. I got it. While literally facing the houseplants with her back against the parents because she couldn't lie to their faces. She needs 3 more.
どうしよう、誰かに3枚売らないと。地元で配ろうと思って。勘もたりやすいってネットで書いてあった気がするよ。よく考えたらコミュ障だからビラ配るとか無理だった。
Oh no! I hope she didn't hit her head.
打つ手がなさすぎてどうしよう。怖くてここから動けない。
So I want to share actually pretty powerful concept psychologically right here. She's like, how is someone with social anxiety supposed to hand out flyers, right? There's 2 concepts. One is learned helplessness, definition right here. I think I talked about that in either episode 1 or episode 2. Learned helplessness. Not only clients and individuals go through this, even psychotherapists like myself and many helping professionals experience learned helplessness. It's when we are facing situations over and over again that remind us that how helpless and powerless we are. For example, I work with many clients dealing with active thoughts. And no matter how great I am as a psychotherapist, no matter how strong the relationship is between myself and the clients, research shows that many clients, once they find a way and have their wills, once they check off all 3 things, intent, thought, and plan, they have a thought, they have an intent to end everything, and they make specific plans to do it, either taking sleeping pills and anything else. I know this is a unexpected dark topic, but it's the most helpless situations even for professionals and experts like myself. That's learned helplessness because we need to respect people's their own self-determination, definition here, their self-will, their autonomy, and so on. So that's learned helplessness. But here, what Hitori is also demonstrating is another concept called learned incompetency. It's when many people truly believe that they're incompetent or incapable, they're unable to do X, Y, and Z, despite they having the potential and the capacity to do so. Right? Yes, Hitori has social anxiety, but think about how far she has come. Think about all the tremendous, monumental, meaningful milestones. Joining a band, working at a restaurant, rehearsing, right? Even recruiting the singer slash guitarist, teaching her, right? Think about all these amazing steps she has come since episode 1. But despite all these progresses, amazing progresses, in Hitori's mind, she still struggles with learned incompetency. She still thinks she's unable and incapable and incompetent socially. But the only way to know is trying. And trying is the only way of breaking that vicious cycle. And trying is the only way of unwinding and overcoming the concept called learned incompetency. I believe in you, Hitori.
お友達来てくれるみたいです。よかった。なんか売れた。ぼっちちゃんはどうかな。
Oh
今日は来る？
no.
新曲もみんなで合わせたいし。 みんな順調そうなんてへ
Just be honest. They all know.
ノルマ分がさばけない人はクビだよバイバイぼっち先輩素敵で陽気なギタリスト探してきますイエーイ
Rock you. So again, what Hitori is demonstrating is yet another criteria of social anxiety or social phobia. That's the technical term from DSM-5. One of the biggest hallmark that I haven't talked about yet is fear of judgment and fear of rejection. So many people struggle with social anxiety is because of their inner criticism, their inner judgments, and this exacerbated, magnified, massive fear of judgments, even though in reality, her band members don't actually really care. We've seen them. All 4 band members, or I guess other 3 band members, are extremely caring. They're very authentic. They're very genuine, and they're very welcoming, unconditionally so. But even with that, because of Hitori's social phobia or social anxiety, she constantly have this fear of rejection, fear of judgment. And remember what I said, it's her projection. She's projecting her internal insecurity onto other people, right? And this is the reason why, yes, projection is a defensive mechanism, and it's not good or bad because that's what people do. At the same time, it is detrimental and unhealthy for Hitori's internal psyche, her mental health, and also relationship building. So again, I just want to extend another round of digital flowers to all the band members because Hitori is really, really exceptionally lucky. Yes, I know. Of course, that's the credits to the writer's plot armor that's bestowed upon Hitori. But still, without those amazing group of friends that Hitori, through chance encounter, there's no way Hitori would have made this much progress in such a short amount of time. Even though I don't know exactly how long it has been since episode 1. But yeah, so that's what Hitori is demonstrating. This massive fear of judgment and massive fear of rejection. And that is one of the hallmarks of social anxiety. It's never too late. Oh. As soon as I said the writers bestowed Hitori with plot armor, dead ass, literally another stranger literally fell in front of her. Plot armor's crazy, y'all. Moshi moshi. She's hungover. What? How hungover is this person? Does she even know where she's at? Miso soup? What is Hitori, the pharmacy? Hitori, the CVS? Hitori, the hangover soup cure? Pandora box? Hitori, the hotel? Amazing start so far. Okay. Episode 6 is called 8 views. 8? She's gonna get 8 people? Is that what that means? Quota of 8 tickets? Clam. She still looks low-key kind of drunk still. She's definitely drunk. Look at that. Drunk flush. She's still drinking? What the? Whoa. What in the? What is she doing? Hold up. First of all, where did she whip out all those sake? Yo, but she literally pulled out like 8 sakes plus this massive bottle. Does she also have access to this Doraemon pouch? Remember in earlier episode, Hitori went from under the table when she first found out that she might have to work part-time at the Starry Club / restaurant. She literally whipped out her guitar with the state dependent learning, the concept that talked about, I was like, whoa, was that Doraemon pouch? This girl also has even bigger Doraemon pouch. Where did she whip out all these drinks from? And she literally had some miso soup to semi help with or cope with the hangover, and boom, she went immediately back to drinking. While she's saying that drinking should be done in moderation, you know? I could, just from this alone, I could diagnose her with a substance use disorder. Definition right here, SUD, substance use disorder. And there's like 9 criteria. And if you meet 2 criterias, then you're qualified for substance use disorder, right? Or in this case, alcoholism, cravings, withdrawal, right? You drink so much that when you don't drink, physically you're experiencing symptoms and even medical concerns. Cravings means whenever you're sober, anytime you think about bars, alcohol, go through 7-Eleven, you think about you having urges and cravings of drinking, right? Drinking more than what you intended, spending a lot of time searching for alcohol or substances, right? And so on. There's 9 different criterias. And this girl, since we don't know her name yet, she definitely qualified for substance use disorder or alcoholism.
ひとりちゃんも飲む安酒だけどいや
Where does she get these? She's talking to a stone statue.
作業後に酒飲もっかやっぱり
She is shit-faced. Oh,
ギター弾く
good
の
catch.
ギター私バンドやってんだインディーズだけどね
Oh,
大人のバンドマンと話すの
I bet she's gonna be amazing, right? Especially indie rock band. She's probably amazing. I'm guessing she's probably drinking all that because maybe she had a late performance. And usually a lot of musicians and artists with their team, they all go out drinking after the performance. That's my guess.
初めてだ
Grown-up rocker.
だけど怒られる見せて見せてロックをなめるな
Another display of, remember, social anxiety traits, fear of judgments, fear of rejection, and projection based on internal judgments towards the self, towards other people. Hitori is doing all those behaviors again.
挫折して今から七夜さんに
Why are you
売りに行くことだ
lying?
ったんです
Robot
もっ
mode.
と優しくて私は全然弾けませんすみません何円で売れる
She's
かな
glitching.
一日で諦めるのはもったいないよ
Aww. She's
売
passionate.
るのはいつでもできるからさもう少し続けてみたらそのギターにふさわしい人になれる
Real quick, did you guys see when Hitori's eyes turned white and then obviously all her eyes, eyebrows, nose, mouth are like glitching? That's another display of dissociative state. Hitori once again disassociated or disconnect from reality and entered ChatGPT robotic mode until this girl is like, hey, that's a waste. You can tell that this girl, despite being an alcoholic, just from this one scene, she's extremely passionate about rock, instruments, and music. Again, like I said many times, and I'm sure as many people are aware by now, music is one of the most powerful uniters, bridge between people, right? From different backgrounds, different skin tone, different age, different chapters of life, and so on. Music is truly a power and a force of unifiers. Aww. While she's sipping on sake.
お姉さんが手取り足取りレッスンしてあげようか
Aww, that's nice.
いやごめんなさい今の話全部嘘ですすごいスラスラ嘘つくねおーいいギター大事に
Nice.
使ってるんだね
Aww. See? All the judgments that Hitori was afraid of. She's gonna be mad. Sheesh, kids nowadays and X, Y, and Z. None of that happens. Remember my quote, what I shared earlier in episode 1 or 2. We often suffer more in our imagination than in reality. Our imaginations and our feelings and our thoughts are often much scarier, much more critical, much more judgmental than the actual reality.
私はベース弾いてるんだ
Oh.
お酒とベースは私の命より大事なものだから毎日肌に離さず持ってるの
She said booze and bass are worth more than her life. Did you guys notice she listed booze first and then bass? I'm dead.
ベースはどち
And
ら
she's still drinking. Did she lose it?
居酒屋に置きっぱなしだ。取りに行くよ、ひとりちゃん。血
Ah.
が軽い。ねえねえ。ぼっちちゃんから返事来た？今だする。
Bocchi's been kidnapped to the pub where that mysterious girl who left her bass, which is a very expensive instrument.
さっきのロインまずかったかな。いや、そんなことは。今日は自主練の日ですし、単純に忙しいだけかもですよ。かなあ。でもどうしよう。ぼっちちゃん追い詰め
Oh,
ちゃって
so
たら。
considerate.
気持ち
So
わかる。
nice.
私も何度圧をかけられたことか。よく言うよ。まったく。大丈夫かな。じゃーん、私のマイベース。状況がね、気づいたら日昇ってるし。全然知らないここに来てたんだけどね。
All night?
まあ半分意識ないからね。このままダブル対応決めちゃってもいいんだけど。
And they kept going.
お酒好きなんですね。だってお酒飲んだら全部忘れられるからさ。つい。
Sure, dude. Drinking lets me forget everything. Again, many people with substance use disorder or alcoholism or substance abuse issues, like this mysterious girl, like I said, I'm sure many of you guys are like, damn, why are you giving such a premature diagnosis? Well, case in point, it proved and verified that she 100% qualifies for that. And there's no judgment. This is just an anime, right? But one thing I do want to highlight is many people, like I said, who struggle with substance use and substance abuses, they use substance, in this case alcohol, as their primary coping strategy. Primary coping, definition right here. What that means is many people have different ways of coping. Some people like to take a walk. Many people like to listen to music, likes to watch TV shows or Netflix to escape temporarily. And I've never said, and I will never say, escaping temporarily is bad. Sometimes we do need to escape from our harsh realities and harsh circumstances, for sure. At the same time, if we escape for far too long, where do you think all those issues go away? Where do you think all those stresses go away? Do you think they just dissipate and disappear magically? No, they don't evaporate. They all get pent up and they're still there. All the stresses, all the issues, all the things we're trying to run away from for far too long. They accumulate and one day it will explode. A very useful metaphor is imagine you have a balloon, right? You blow a balloon and it's really full. What happens to the balloon if you keep blowing? It pops. So what is the only way to make sure the balloon doesn't pop if the balloon is already full, right? If the balloon is already full, you have to let out the air. So the balloon de-shrinks and gets smaller and smaller so it doesn't explode. But the best way is to even prevent the balloon to get that full in the first place, right? Is by venting, releasing, coping, not through drinking or substances, but in a healthy way. Journaling, talking to a dear friend, seeing a therapist, right? Doing audio recording if you're not a writer, doing coping, evidence-based scientific coping skills like breathing skills, right? Using ice bath, right? It really helps to help with the stress for that moment. Taking a long walk or running exercise. All those things are many, many free coping skills. So going back to, and obviously that balloon is a metaphor for stress, right? For our mental health conditions. So going back to what she was saying, that drinking lets me forget everything. So she, just like many people struggling with alcoholism and substance abuses, are using substances to escape, to cope with their situations. Doing that once or twice or infrequently, it's okay. But if that's the only thing you do, if substances, drugs, or alcohol are the only things that helps you cope and manage and deal with your stresses and situations, that's how you get addicted. Because every time you don't drink, every time you don't do X, Y, and Z, you don't know how to deal with your stresses, your situations. So you drink more, you do more drugs, and so on.
偏見問題、地方の過疎化、貧困格差。私はこれを幸せスパイラルって呼んでるんだ。真似していいよ。いや。
Kids, please do not try this at home, right? Again, I get it. I get this show is a very comical, happy, uppity, cheerful portrayal, but this is not a happiness spiral. It's actually a spiral with pending disasters and catastrophe. Yeah, and a lot of Japanese culture, Chinese culture, Asian culture, and a lot of the Eastern Asian cultures, they like to glamorize. They like to hyper normalize the abnormalities of drinking. Even in the United States, especially. If you're sad, what do? Drink. If you're happy, what do? Drink. If you're upset, what do? Drink. What do we do at funeral? People drink. What do we do for celebrations of promotions and big successes? People drink. What do you do when you get depressed and anxious? People drink. Do you see that? Our cultures somehow has normalized drinking to such an extent that drinking and alcohol and substance abuse specifically, has permeated through every fabric of society. It's a major big no-no. I don't judge very often, as you guys know. And again, I don't know people's circumstances. But please, I beg everyone to make sure drugs or alcohol are not the only way, are not the primary first line of defenses you guys used to manage and deal with your situations. Please, it is not a road to happiness spiral, but a guaranteed road to addiction, breaking up of relationships, right? Depressions, anxiety, and every other situations and crisis. I would know because I've been sober for almost 6 years now from alcohol because I used to be a functioning alcoholic, but I started to lose my relationships. My current wife that I have, she broke up with me because of my alcoholic issues 6 years ago, right? So case in point, I'm only able to marry my wife and have this thriving, solid, strong marriage is because I quit drinking. Because it's never a problem until it becomes a problem. I'll say that again. It's never a problem until it becomes a problem. So please make sure you guys seek other evidence-based and healthy, non-chemical or non-substance related coping skills.
悲しい幸せだ。
Yes, exactly.
まだピンとこないか。まあひとりちゃんも大人になったらわかるよ。いや、大人になってもわかりたくない。うん、絶対そう。顔見ればわかる。はあ、どんなだろう。
This mysterious drunk girl is also, again, she's also projecting how she feels onto Hitori. And Hitori's like, no, I don't want to learn this sad cycle of happiness. Bingo, Hitori. Respect. Another fantasy. She's a shut-in solo alcoholic. Yeah, dude, it'll be bad.
きっと孫のお世話で忙しいんだな。
Grandkids.
二人がママだもんな、もう。
Hitori's imagination is impressive. Very, very impressive. Wow. We call this future projection. You're projecting yourself into the future tense by like visualizing. And I talked about the technique of visualization in earlier episodes. Visualization is a therapeutic, healthy coping technique. But here, with Hitori's powerful imagination, she's doing a very negative projection and negative visualizations about catastrophic future if she were to become an alcoholic, plus her unaddressed social anxiety. That will be a toxic cocktail of disaster.
ころバンド組んでたの懐かしいな。なんだかんだあの頃の私ってキラキラしてたんだな。
Oh, this is very likely.
顔を合わせても何を話せばいいのか。結構やばい子。そういうの嫌いじゃないよ。
She got lost in her head.
ひとりちゃんは何してたの？私はなるほど。ひとりちゃんは悲劇の少女だったわけか。すごく同情してくれてる。チケット売るの大変だよね。私も最初の頃はすごい苦しんだな。
Yeah.
そうなんですね。よーし、命の恩人のために私が一肌脱いであげよう。
Literally skin? Okay. What? Oh, she's gonna hand out flyers.
私と君で。
Street performance. Sell tickets.
今からここで路上ライブをするんだよ。
Yep.
路上ライブ？
Yo.
チケット買ってもらうのが一番いいって。
True.
いや、 でも今日
Don't they need permit in Japan for street performance because of how regulated Japan is as a culture and society? And also, again, unknown to this mysterious girl. By the way, did she even disclose and share her name yet? I don't think she did, right? This mysterious girl is unknown and does not know about Hitori's social anxiety. For Hitori to perform on the street in front of strangers? I'm sure she'd rather donate her heart. I know. A level above donating her liver, aka she'd rather die than do this. This is like 0 to level 1000. If Hitori can't even imagine working part-time in the summer at a water park, or not water park, amusement park, and a beach house, for her to perform on the street? Yeah, she'd rather donate her heart. Be a heart donor. She'd rather be dead. Let's see how this goes.
ライブ日和だよ。じゃあ残念ですが別の機会に。あ、もしもし、私。
What?
すんだけど、機材持ってきてくんない？あ、機材だけでいい。
Wow. What the? Wow, her band moves fast.
今から
Aww.
ライブしまーす。
Aww.
今からライブやりまーす。
I'm sure this mysterious girl is extroverted as a baseline, but obviously many people drink alcohol because, at least in the US and also in Britain, because obviously, you know, Anglo culture and similarities, alcohol is known as a social lubricant. So alcohol does help people more social, although it's not real, not sustaining, and it is superficial. But regardless, alcohol does give you the alcohol confidence, right? The booze confidence. So I don't, it's hard to tell if this mysterious girl is really this level of extroversion or is her extroversion baseline plus the power of alcohol as a social lubricant.
楽しみ。いや、君もやるんだよ。外でギター弾いたことがない？
Literally first.
そんなに怖いなら目つむって弾くとか。
Good idea.
人見知りなんだね。わかるよ。
That might work.
いつも手元の見えない暗闇でずっと弾いてたし。で
Wow.
も一応言っとくけど、今目の前にいる人たちは君の戦う相手じゃないからね。
Your combat with yourself. Your combat with
敵を
yourself.
見誤るなよ。
Your enemy is the self. Our biggest competition is ourselves, right? And also, again, I just want to highlight another massive glow, massive progress by Hitori. Despite never performing on the street, never performing in front of strangers, never doing street performance, Hitori did not run away. If she wanted, she could have run away. But sure, some people might argue, again, the 4 primary fear responses by humans: fight, flight, freeze, and fawn. And as we've seen many times, Hitori usually checks freeze and fawn based on her primary fear responses in the last 6 episodes so far. So sure, maybe she would have frozen. Maybe. But my point is still, she didn't run away. Her staying and still being able to have this conversation with this mysterious woman in and itself is a massive progress and massive evolution for Hitori. But I'm pretty sure the mysterious girl is saying that don't get twisted. Your enemies are not the audience in front of you. Your enemies and our biggest enemies are ourselves. Are we proud of who we are becoming? What about our inner judgments, inner criticism, and so on? Especially for creatives and musicians, I know that for a fact that they are often or almost always the biggest critics. They themselves are the biggest self-critics. I think that's what she means. Your biggest enemies are not the audience. It's actually yourself. Those are the inner demons we all struggle with.
学校での後藤さんですか？そう。やっぱりぼっちなの？ズバッと聞くなおい。そうですね。ですけど、誰かと一緒にいるところは見たことはないですね。あ、いじめられてるとかではないですよ。よかった。感じで
Aww.
ぼっち面白いのにそうなんですよ
Oh, let's go.
それじゃあ始めますね
Let's go, Guitar Hero. Bocchi-chan.
傑作バンドのオリジナル曲ですポチポチポチほら弾くよ
Keep your eyes closed. It's okay.
ってくれるんですけどでも私の友達とお昼食べよう
It's because Hitori's in that little secret closet under the staircase area, right? Also, the biggest twist of irony is while the Kesoku Ben is talking about how is she in school, she never hangs out because she's, social anxiety. Where is she at? Meanwhile, Hitori is dead ass performing on the street. Wow.
すごく自信に満ちた演奏
Wow. Oh, she's
私の
faking.
演奏を確実に支えてくれてるんだ
Aww. Aww.
せめて私は
You got it. Come on, Guitar Hero.
人に笑われてないかな顔上げるのも怖い
Internal judgments once again. It's not real. Aww. Aww.
ぼっちちゃん大丈夫かな
Aww. You got it. Yeah.
勝手に
Yeah. Internal
ひとり
demons.
ちゃん目が
Let's go. Oh, I got goosebumps. Wow. Let's go.
ひとりちゃん本当はこんな風に
Aww. Hitori's smiling. Hitori went from being terrified to smiling and keeping her eyes open. She just unlocks level 10 within that span of few seconds after one of the audience says, hey, you got this. Enough said, dude. Let's go.
言ってくれた人
You
た
got
ち
it.
だ
Wow.
この短時間でちゃんと気づいて欠点克服する
Amazing. Yes. That's amazing.
この子は絶対上がってくれ
Yes.
私の勘は当たるんだ
That's amazing. I cannot believe Hitori did that, dude. What the heck?
笑顔
Wow.
これから
You get better.
もっとこんな顔が見れるのか
Aww.
な
Yes. Oh. Amazing, beautifully wholesome episode. Yeah.
ひとりちゃんよかったよ
Great
あ
job.
りがとうございますバレてない片目しか開けてなかった
One eye.
いえいえ
They're gonna come.
はいこのライブのチケット買って
Oh. 2.
よかったねひとりち
That's 4.
ゃんえ500円なんで3000円だよねはい本当にいいんですかライブ見たけどすごく良かったです
Aww.
今度のライブも頑張ってくださいね
Ganbatte.
はい
Yes. Now she has 4.
さっきの曲もやりますはいやります楽しみにしてます
Meanwhile, the mysterious girl's open up another sake, dude. She's been drinking for like 19, 18 hours straight, dude. What? But anyway, yes. Because of her establishing such a grounding, comforting, confident presence, it allowed Hitori to springboard and blossom into her first successful street performance, and she was able to sell 2 tickets. Not to her Shiba, her dog, or her 5-year-old little sister, but 2 new strangers who genuinely admired her work. And this is the power of a first. First experience is so powerful and contagious. It was Hitori's first street performance, and in turn, she inspired and she attracted and shared joy for these 2 new audiences who experienced also their first street performance, not as a performer, but as an audience. Do you see how amazing experiences are contagious and spread? That's why I said music spreads joy. And Hitori's struggle, but her ability to eventually move through and overcome her challenges by realizing that the enemies are not the audience, but it's always been her imagination and herself.
今夜は焼け酒だ。なんで泣いてるんですか？
She's drinking more.
すぐ幸せいっぱいなの決めるから。絶
Oh,
対それ体に悪い。
yeah, exactly. Not good at all.
ここでのライブはやめてください。
I called it. I knew they need permits for street performance. But thankfully, the police came after the street performance ended, and Hitori acquired 2 new tickets.
されないされない。あーでも怒られちゃったし、この辺で終わりにしよっか。
Yay, good job. Wow.
そうだ。浮かれきっていたけれど、まだあと1枚残ってるんだった。でも4枚も売ったんだ。最初にしては上出来。
Invite her. She's gonna
最後
come.
の1枚、私が買うよ。チケット。それで
Oh.
達成でしょ？
Oh.
もちろん。私普段新宿拠点に活動してるから近いし、
Aw.
このライブハウス知ってるし。ありがとうございます。鬼コロ5本分以上のライブ期待してるよ。
A concert worth 5 sakes better be worth it. Yo, when I was in college, I used to measure my any money based on Chipotle. Like $20, that was like 3 Chipotle worth. Obviously, it's a lot more expensive. I was in college in many years ago, right? Because I graduated in 2016 from an undergraduate school. So I used to measure everything in Chipotle or like Chick-fil-A. Those were my go-to food options. But this girl is measuring everything in any monetary amount based on amount of sake. I am dead.
また一緒にライブしようね。
Aww.
バイバイ、ひとりちゃん。
Bye bye. We never learned her name. Mysterious woman, huh? Wow.
不思議な人だった。
Mysterious person. I called it. Gakoi. So boccho. That's in Korean.
チケット買ったらお金なくなっちゃった。
Ah, I'm dead.
この展開。どうやる？
Yo, she's like, yo. And they both play bass. I am dead.
バンドマンお金なさすぎる。
Rockers are so cool, yet so broke. Life of struggling artists, right? Sugoi. Wow. Fireworks. Again, another beautiful and powerful storytelling technique. Symbolizes transformation, happy ending, right? Explosions of happiness, explosions of possibilities. Amazing. Aww.
今日練習行かなくてすみません。
She shredded on the street instead, though. Yes.
個人と
Nice. She's back to her original spot. Amen. Amen, sister.
あとチケット全部売れました。絶対嘘ついてるよね。
Oh, no one believes her.
やっぱり
Oh, they're so nice.
そうに。
So considerate.
明日の練習はみんな優しく迎えてあげよう。
Aww. They've always been nice. Fireworks. Happy ending. Amazing, guys. Whew! This was an awesome episode, just like all the other episodes are. But I think into episode 6, like the giveaway, I think there's 12 episodes in the series. I literally haven't even looked up how many episodes there are. But I'm thinking it's like a halfway point or close. Just the fact that they had a recap in the beginning of this episode. But I think this is where we truly see Hitori slowly breaking out of her shell, her cocoon stage as a caterpillar, to seeing the glimpse of the possibility of Hitori being a butterfly. Amazing, amazing episode. As always, if you guys enjoy my in-depth psychological analysis, please smash that thumbs up and double check. Are you subscribed? Because you don't want to miss my next episode and the next series I'm working on. And as always, before you check out, leave one comment or a question that you learned about or you have further questions about from any topics I share in the episode. I'll be sure to follow up and share more resources. And as always, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I mean it, seriously. You guys are the best, especially our community. So thoughtful, so respectful, right? Truly, truly amazing, right? I appreciate you guys. And as always, till next time, peace.